AJ Plus recently released a documentary about police brutality and the use of force, and in it, they finally answer the question, who is actually training these police officers? Let's watch an excerpt.
Give him some commands. There's your guy.
Ho!
Wait. Ho! Oh, okay. Put the guns down. Now, in the back, you guys are now my use of force review board. They're just involved in a shooting. So you're going to be part of this decision process.
You can click on the link below for the full short documentary from our friends at AJ Plus. We're going to talk about a bit of what came after that. The full documentary is 12 minutes long. After that clip, they do actually talk it out and decide, you know, what they have the person who did the shooting say, what was he actually doing? Do you believe that you were justified? And then they had the other people sort of evaluated, was he justified to shoot in that situation?
Yeah, these aren't the problems.
That's not the actual problem. Now, the interesting thing is the cop says in that situation you were not actually justified to shoot. I thought that that was an example of, well, look how bad everyone is. They rushed at you.
For his life. He came at me.
Yeah, but they said that that wasn't deadly force. He wasn't a deadly threat at that point.
Yeah, but the cops shoot people unarmed like that for that reason all the time. There was just two, on one newscast in Los Angeles, Long Beach police and an LA cop shot one unarmed college kid who was high on mushrooms, and the other guy was a guy who was coming out of a liquor store, didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
Neither of them have guns, and what the cop said was, they came at me. And then they shot him. They're not going to jail. They didn't even lose their freaking jobs.
Yeah, apparently
so this
that cop should be the prosecutor, the one explaining that that's actually not a deadly threat.
And I'm going to, yes. And
now, see, the funny thing is, when he threw the thing and then ran at us, your natural instinct is,
shoot.
Oh, I have a gun, I'm going to shoot.
Yes.
But he threw a bag. Is the bag filled up with explosives?
Right.
Is the bag filled up with ants? Like, it's not a deadly threat to you, if there were killer ants. It's not a deadly threat. Even if he's rushing at you, yeah, he might punch you.
Cops.
You're a cop. You might get punched from time to time.
Cops shoot people unarmed all the goddamn time. All the time. So this guy, that's just like, hey, you want to come to fantasy police camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the fantasy world, you wouldn't shoot an armed robber who's coming at you. In fantasy world. In reality, as soon as these civilians go away, you shoot that motherfucker, and you shoot him until he's dead.
Yeah.
Because that's what cops... So, and by the way, cops who aren't on camera will tell you that you shoot to kill.
Yeah.
If someone breaks into your house... shoot to kill them, because if you shoot and wound them, they'll sue you.
Yes, exactly. Or they'll reveal what actually happened.
And then there'll be another witness there to tell you, to rebut your story.
Yeah. Well, and also as a policy, they've been very clear for decades saying if you are going to use potentially deadly force, like a gun, you do shoot to kill. You don't shoot to wound. Because the only case you should be using it in is if you fear for your life, and if you actually fear for your life, you're not going to shoot someone in the leg.
Right.
And so to a regular person, that seems like, well, no, you could shoot someone in the leg.
Yes.
You could shoot someone in the arm. You could try to put them down in a non-lethal way. They're trained specifically not to do that. I have my issues with that.
Yeah, me too. That's big. Again, it's a problem of culture. And I haven't seen this whole documentary, so I feel weird commenting on it. But I can't wait to see it. And
it's good. It's good.
Yeah. And so you saw it?
Yeah, I watched it.
And what was that? Was the only scenario they showed? Did they show more scenarios?
That was the only full training scenario that they showed. But they did talk about a lot of different cases. The video starts off with a woman talking about how her son had been approached by a cop. They tried to tase him after he didn't immediately comply with what they were saying. So he ran away. And the next time she saw him, he was running to her. He grabbed onto her, and then they shot him dead. He was unarmed. He hadn't done anything at that point. And they shot him dead, but for some reason in the force options simulator, there was no scenario like chasing down a running teenager who wasn't known to have committed any crimes and then shooting him as he was in his mom's arms. That's not one of the options they gave. It's all bank robbers and stuff like that. But we've seen the videos. We saw the guy who got out of his car at a traffic stop and just started to run away, and we saw the cop gun him down.
Yes.
It was a traffic violation.
Yes.
Is that one of the force options simulator options? I don't think so. Yeah, we see all these. That's the problem, is that you can do the training, and that's fine. And we know that even in these cases of the thing where it's like you see someone, should you shoot? The implicit racism tests, they're called. There is a racial component to that. When you test people, they will make the decision more quickly based on the race of the person holding the gun. That can show racism. That's not the solution to racism. I like that the cops are giving us sort of an insight into what they're doing, but it doesn't solve the problem. It only raises more questions at this point. But anyway, you should definitely check out the full documentary. They do interviews with the family members of people who've been shot, unarmed people who've been shot by the cops. They show the town hall events that happened in Venice, California just a few months ago, actually, when an unarmed homeless man was shot. And they show that. They also do interviews with cops as well. I think they did an amazing job. You can see short docs like that and other informative videos by subscribing to AJ+. Obviously, very important issues to learn a little bit more about.